Have you ever felt like you didn't quite fit in, but held on to a dream with all your heart? Today, we're diving into a classic fairy tale that speaks volumes about courage, loyalty, and a love that defies all odds. This is the story of the brave tin soldier. Our tale begins in a lively children's playroom, a world filled with wonderful toys. Among them is a brand new set of 25 tin soldiers, all cast from the same old tin spoon. But one of them was different. He was the very last one made, and there wasn't quite enough tin left, so he stood proudly on just one leg. Despite this, he stood as firm and steady as his brothers. From his spot on the table, his eyes were immediately drawn to the most enchanting sight he had ever seen. It was a magnificent paper castle. And standing in its doorway was a delicate paper ballerina. She was breathtakingly beautiful, with a sparkling spangle on her sash. Like him, she stood on one leg, her other raised high in a graceful pose. The soldier thought she must be just like him, and instantly, he fell in love. He dreamed of a life with this beautiful dancer, but he was just a simple soldier, and she lived in a castle. What chance did he have? As evening fell and the children went to bed, the toys came to life. They played games, held parties, and danced the night away. Only the tin soldier and the ballerina remained still, their eyes locked in a silent conversation. But their quiet moment was shattered by a sudden, jarring noise. A jack-in-the-box sprang open, revealing a mischievous goblin. This goblin, who also had his eyes on the ballerina, was filled with jealousy. He glared at the tin soldier and sneered, "Tin soldier, keep your eyes to yourself." The soldier said nothing, but held his ground, his gaze never leaving the ballerina. The goblin warned him, "Just you wait until tomorrow." But the soldier remained steadfast. The next morning, as the children were playing by the window, a sudden gust of wind, or perhaps a nudge from the jealous goblin, sent the tin soldier tumbling down from the third-floor window ledge. He landed headfirst on the pavement below, his bayonet stuck between the cobblestones. It began to rain heavily, the drops coming down faster and faster until the street gutter became a rushing river. Soon, 2 street boys found him. "Look!" one of them cried. "A tin soldier. Let's send him on a voyage." They quickly folded a newspaper into a boat, placed the soldier inside, and set him afloat in the gutter. Down the stream he sailed, tossed about by the churning water. The world around him was a blur of rushing water and dark, looming shapes. Through it all, the tin soldier stood firm. He held his musket tightly and looked straight ahead, his thoughts filled with his beloved ballerina. He wondered if he would ever see her again, but his heart remained loyal. He was a soldier, and a soldier must be brave. His paper boat was suddenly swept into a long, dark drain pipe. It was as dark as being in his box. "Where am I going now?" he thought. "This must be the goblin's fault. Oh, if only the little ballerina were here with me, I wouldn't care if it were twice as dark." Suddenly, a huge water rat, who lived in the sewer, swam towards him. "Do you have a passport?" the rat demanded. "Show me your passport." The tin soldier remained silent, clutching his musket even tighter as the current pulled him forward. The rat swam after him, gnashing its teeth and shouting to the sticks and straws floating by, "Stop him! Stop him! He hasn't paid the toll." The current grew stronger and stronger. The soldier could see daylight at the end of the tunnel, but he also heard a roaring sound, mighty enough to frighten any brave man. The water from the drain plunged directly into a great canal. For him, It was like being swept over a massive waterfall. His little paper boat spun around, filled with water, and began to sink. The soldier was submerged, the water closing over his head. He thought of his beautiful ballerina one last time. The melody of a song echoing in his mind, "Farewell, warrior. Brave and true, for you must die today." Just as he sank to the bottom, a large fish, swimming by, swallowed him whole. It was even darker inside the fish than it had been in the sewer. It was terribly cramped, but the tin soldier was unwavering. He lay there, musket in hand, as patient as ever. The fish thrashed and swam about, then suddenly became very still. After a long time, a flash of light cut through the darkness. The fish had been caught, taken to market, and sold. A cook had just cut it open with a large knife. "My goodness!" exclaimed the cook. "It's the tin soldier." She picked him up and carried him into the living room for everyone to see. The soldier found himself back in the very same room he had left. He saw the same children, the same toys on the table. And there, in the distance, was the magnificent paper castle with the lovely little ballerina. She was still standing on one leg, her other raised high. She, too, had been steadfast. The soldier was so moved he could have wept tears of tin, but a soldier never cries. He looked at her, and she looked at him, and they said nothing. They were together again, but their trials were not over. Suddenly, for no reason at all, it was surely the gobliness doing, one of the little boys snatched up the tin soldier and threw him straight into the blazing fireplace. The heat was immense. The soldier felt himself melting, his bright colors fading away. He didn't know if this heat was from the fire or from the love burning in his heart. He looked at the ballerina, and she looked at him. He felt himself disappearing, but he still stood firm, his musket held tightly. Just then, a door opened, and a gust of wind caught the paper ballerina. Like a sylph, she fluttered through the air and flew right into the fire, to the soldier. She flashed into a bright flame and was gone. The tin soldier melted down completely. The next morning, when the maid came to clean the ashes from the fireplace, she found a small tin heart, all that was left of the brave soldier. And next to it, she found a tiny, blackened spangle, the only remnant of the beautiful dancer. Though their forms were gone, their love had been forged into something eternal. The tin heart and the burnt spangle lay together in the ashes, a testament to a love and loyalty that even fire could not destroy. Their story reminds us that true courage isn't about the battles you win, but the steadfastness of your heart in the face of any trial. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more tallies that inspire and endure. See you next time.